Lesson 4. Long tail versus short tail keywords. When it comes to SEO, nothing is more important than finding the right keywords for your product. When deciding which keywords to use, you'll need to do some homework and research before deciding which ones to go for. To start off, let's go over short tail versus long tail keywords. So, what exactly are short tail keywords and long tail keywords? And why do keywords have tails? Short tail keywords are keyword strings of 3 words or less. Examples include soy candle, wedding garter, or engagement ring. Short tail keywords are typically the first thing you think of when you are deciding where to go to eat: Mexican food, Chinese takeout, or what to do: movie theaters, urban hike. Long tail keywords are a little different when compared to short tail keywords. As you can probably guess, long tail keywords are strings that contain more than 3 words. They are definitely a lot more targeted and not as broad. Think authentic, all-vegan Mexican food restaurant versus simply Mexican food. The first option defines exactly what you meant by Mexican food. If you were to think in terms of restaurants in your city, you just went from 100 possible Mexican restaurants down to maybe a few. Similarly, in terms of SEO, you may not bring in as much search traffic from long-tail keywords, but the traffic you do bring in is the kind you are looking for. Examples of long-tail keywords include lavender scent soy wax candle, lacy all-white silk wedding garter, or white gold diamond engagement ring. Long-tail keywords are obviously a lot more specific than short-tail keywords, but their volume will naturally be less. How many people at any given time are looking to eat at a Mexican restaurant? Versus how many people are specifically looking for an all-vegan Mexican joint? So what is your best strategy for keyword ranking? Short-tail keywords or long-tail keywords? Let's dig into the pros and cons of each. Short-tail keywords have several things working for and against them. For one, their search volumes could be massive. How many people do you think are going into Etsy and searching bracelet? If you guessed a lot, you are absolutely correct. The thing to keep in mind, though, is if you are trying to rank a bracelet for the term bracelet, how many other sellers do you think are trying for the same thing? The challenge here is that if your Etsy store is brand new, or if your search efforts are just beginning, you are getting into the back of a very, very long line. So what about long-tail keywords? How do they factor into the equation? When you are talking about long-tail keywords, you have to appreciate the level of volume. Your volume of traffic from long-tail keywords is going to be far less. Let's illustrate with an example. If you sell a very specific product, such as vintage 1980s American bow ties, chances are not too many people are searching for that exact thing. But for those who collect vintage 1980s American bow ties, you literally have the perfect storefront. They could literally come to your store and happily purchase everything you have to offer. You can imagine that conversion rates for someone who came to your storefront from the search term vintage 1980s American bow tie would be much higher than for someone who just searched black bow tie. The first person who searched is looking for something very specific. Now, if your store is able to provide something that is very relevant to the key term, you have a strong fit and can likely convert on that query. So in summary, if you are just starting out, aim to rank for long-tail keywords that include short-tail keywords in them. Vintage 1980s American bow ties also naturally contain the strings bow ties, vintage bow ties, American bow ties, and 1980s bow ties. Over time, by aiming for those niche-specific long-tail keywords, you will hopefully rank for those shorter tail keywords as well.